Okay, kitchen buddies, I'm back, and now we're going to make that apricot nectar cake that I told you about that was passed down from my grandmother, Ora Mae Collins, to my mom, Betty, to my sister, Cheryl, and then Cheryl shared it with us to go in our family cookbook. You know what, I'm going to take this thing out of my ear. We don't need that. That's where my microphone is, so that you can hear me if I happen to go strolling around the kitchen getting things, but yeah, I don't need that in my ear. So this, again, it's a delicious recipe, but it's simple. If you're a beginner cook, you can make this cake. It's almost homemade. The reason I say almost is because it does start out with a cake mix. It starts out with a Duncan Hines lemon cake mix. You're just gonna dump that into your mixer bowl. And to that, you're going to add 1 cup of apricot nectar. You find this in the juice aisle of the grocery store. At our store, it was way down on the bottom shelf, kind of off to the side, away from your major, more popular juices. It's not expensive. They had these on, normally they're 2 for $1, and they were on sale 2 for 88 cents today. So you're going to use 1 cup of this apricot nectar. So I did, you know, kind of rotate it back and forth so that it would mix really well in case there was some settlement in the can. So you don't want to just open the can and pour it in. You do want to make sure it's mixed up well in the can. So there's the cup of that. 1/4 cup of vegetable oil. Wait. I'm sorry. 3/4 cup of vegetable oil. There we go. There's the vegetable oil. And 1/2 cup of sugar. And I've got I messed up my sugar scoop by starting to put some oil in there, so I've got to clean that out. I have made this cake before, but y'all, it's been a long time. It's been years since I made this. I don't cook as many sweets as my grandmother did. My grandmother loved sweets, y'all. She loved her sugar. If a little bit of sugar was good, then a lot of sugar was better. That was my grandmother, and she loved to bake. Okay, so there we have. So we're gonna get this started mixing in the mixer. We're gonna start it on low, like any cake would tell you. Start it on low until everything is moist. And then you can go up to your medium setting. Okay, so that's got, I'm not letting you see this. You need to see. All right, there we go. Now you can see. So now it asks for 4 eggs, just putting in, 1 egg at a time, kind of letting it get in there. There's 1. We're going to let that blend in there for a moment. 2. Give them blend in there for a little bit. 3. Gonna be delicious. What I love about this cake is that it's extremely moist, because we're going to put a glaze on it, but with the apricot nectar in here, that makes it so moist and delicious. But after it has cooked, we're going to make a glaze using powdered sugar and lemon juice, which really gives it a nice punch of flavor. So we're going to mix this for 2 minutes. Do you have some favorite recipes from your grandmother? Those are the best, aren't they? Because it just snaps us right back to our childhood from going over to the grandparents' house and enjoying time with them, because you know grandparents love to spoil their grandchildren, don't they? So I'm so sorry. I forgot to put my phone on Do Not Disturb, and someone was calling in. So when they did, it stopped our video. So anyway, I do have, this is all mixed up now. There it is. And we are going to put it in our pan. I prepared the pan with Crisco or shortening and flour, and you can use self-rising flour or all-purpose flour. It does not matter when you're preparing your cake pan which kind of flour you use. It does not matter. So there's that, and I need a bowl to put under here because it needs something. Well, I'll just tap these off. I'll just tap these beaters off real good. And I just heard the beep from the oven, so the oven has come up to temperature. It's ready. So we're just gonna empty this into our tube pan. If you watched my cake recipe for the plum cake, you remember I forgot to put the pecans in. There's no pecans to forget today. Oh, this is gonna be delicious. It's been a long time since I had this cake. The last time I had this cake, my mom actually had made it. She usually comes over for burger night, and she likes to make the desserts. She's got a little bit of orame in her. She's a good baker. She likes cooking some good desserts, and I tell you what, all of her grandkids love her sweet recipes and her delicious dessert recipes. She's got a handful of some major favorites that they are not shy to ask for it. If they find out there's going to be a dessert and Mimi's going to make dessert, they are not shy to ask for the ones that they want. So I know that makes her feel good to get to do that. All right, so that's got it in the pan. I can get that little piece off the top because it'll burn. All right, so it is ready for the oven. I'm going to pop it in now. There it is in the oven on the middle rack at 350, and that is going to bake for about an hour. So as with any other cake, you're just going to use your cake tester and put it down in there and make sure it comes out clean. I have a couple of cake testers that I like to use. Where are they? Oh, here's one. Here's one that was gifted to me. Isn't that pretty? So you just stick it down into the thick part of the cake, and if it comes out clean, that means your cake is ready. So if you didn't know that, that's another baking tip. So as soon as this is done, I'll take it out and I'll show you how we glaze it. It's gonna be delicious. Okay, so the cake is out of the oven. I've got it over here cooling. The directions say to cool it for 15 minutes, and then we'll flip it out onto our cake plate. But meanwhile, we're gonna make our glaze. So to make the glaze, you're gonna need a cup of confectioner sugar, which I've already put in here, and the juice of 2 lemons. I've already juiced 1 lemon, but I'm gonna show you how I like to juice lemons. I don't know if you've ever been told this before, but I like to roll the lemon with some pressure, and that helps to release the juices. And so then you just go ahead, and I've already washed it and cut into it. And I love my little juicer pitcher right here. Place that over there. I love this little juicer because it keeps the seeds from getting into it. And just rotate that around. Just add it, apply some good firm pressure so you get your juice out. All that goodness. And then the other half. This is gonna give it that nice tart glaze on the top, which is just that final punch of flavor to make this cake something really special. All right, now then, something else I like to do is I like to really punch up my lemony taste with a few drops of my lemon essential oil. Now this is the Young Living brand, and it has been approved by the FDA for culinary use. So you don't have to worry about the safety there. It's already been approved. And so we're gonna just add 2 or 3 drops. 1, 2, 3. That ought to do. And now I have my handy little mini whisk. I love this little mini whisk. So I'm gonna just pour the juice over into my confectioner sugar. And we're gonna whisk all of this up to make our glaze. And pour this over the warm cake. And it's gonna be some kind of good. I'm making this a day ahead because this cake always tastes more yummy the second day. Now because of the juice, the lemon juice in it, the apricot nectar, it's a good idea to store this in your refrigerator, or if you're in a cold environment, you can do like I do and put it in the garage on the workbench. I don't have a whole lot of extra space in my refrigerator right now, so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put it in my cake keeper, and I'm just gonna let it stay overnight in there in the garage instead of using up my refrigerator space. All right, so that's all done. I'm gonna move my cake over here, and we're gonna flip the cake out. I'm gonna use this little plate right here. All right, here's my cake. Let's keep our fingers crossed. This is always a little nerve-wracking for me. I'm always nervous my cake isn't gonna turn loose of the pan like it's supposed to. It feels like it did though. All right, here's the truth telling. There it is. Yay! Awesome. Okay, so I'm gonna use a fork and put some holes in this cake. I'll tell you what I'll do. I think I'll use one of my cake testers. I'm gonna use a cake tester to just kind of poke some holes in here because I want the glaze to go down into my cake really well. That makes it even more good. So I'm just gonna put the holes on. Oh y'all, I wish you could smell this. It smells so delicious. Just gently poking, try not to tear it up. All right. All right, so I'm gonna just slowly pour this. Don't dump it, just slowly pour it. That's my timer on my oven going off. I'm gonna turn that off. It'll drive me crazy. All right, so we're gonna pour this glaze on very slowly though, remember. Because you wanna give it time to soak in. Very slowly. It's still just rolling all over. You know what? I think I might brush it on. I'm gonna brush this on because I don't like losing all of that glaze. There we go. It's been so long since I made this, I have forgotten the little tricks. Brushing it all over with your pastry brush. Oh, it's gonna be so delicious. All right, so I will finish glazing this. And at the very end of the video, I'll show you. Let's get to sit up here and see you. At the very end of the video, I'll post a photograph of this cake plated up and what it looks like. So I can't wait to show you. Thank you for tuning in and watching me make this apricot nectar cake that's been part of my family for a long time. One of our family favorites. Remember to like the video, share it if you want to share it to somebody. I always love it when you share. And then please be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done it. Thank you for watching. I hope you'll make this. It's a very simple cake and I hope you'll make it and enjoy it with your family. Bye-bye.